Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Encouraging Words for School Counselors podcast. I'm Matt Fleck with Inspire Success. It's already December and almost Christmas. It's amazing how fast it goes. Speaking of the holidays, this month we're asking you for stories of school counseling around the holidays, and we so appreciate those of you who have taken the time to share those stories with us. Mindy Weaver-Flask, or Mindy, is our guest this week, and she, like me, went back to college to become a school counselor a little later in life than most. She was actually in shock when she received the letter that she had been accepted into her graduate-level school counseling program.
Wait, I'm really in? Like, are you serious? Because this has been, since 2000. It's been 19, 20 years. Well, I got the acceptance letter 20 years after I had written in my Franklin Covey planner that I wanted to go to grad school to get my master's in school counseling.
The unfortunate thing is that Mindy decided to become a school counselor years after her own school counselor had told her she didn't have the right stuff for college or much of anything else.
I'm the fourth out of 5 children. None of my siblings had gone to college. None of my relatives had gone to college. So that wasn't even something that I saw as an option. So my high school counselor said, well, Mindy, I think you could work at the mall and you'd do well. And I thought, damn, I want more than that for myself. Like, don't I want more than that for myself? Even though nobody's telling me that I should want more than that for myself, I want more than that for myself. So in this convoluted way, I started looking like, what do you really want to do? What's of interest?
Mindy's key interest at the time was to become one of those cool teachers who worked for the Peace Corps, but her family had no money, so Mindy, somewhat ironically, joined the military to pay for her college so she could go to the Peace Corps. But it all worked out, and for the last 20-plus years, Mindy has been a teacher, an excellent one, and it's a job she really loves. Just a few years ago, though, she decided it was time to take some time and pursue the goal she had written down years before, the goal to become a school counselor.
When I wrote that down in my Franklin planner, people kept on saying, oh, have you thought about it? And I thought, no, because nobody even told me to go to college. Nobody even said, these are options. So I thought, no, and I'm not material for grad school. I mean, how in the world would they ever let me in? Like, I was supposed to work at a mall. Come on.
But 2 years ago, Mindy applied and received the shocking notification that she had been accepted to graduate school, which was great news, or so you'd think. But in her first year in the school counseling program, her professor questioned why she wanted to become a counselor at her age. And not once, but 4 times.
It's really interesting because when we talk about the diversity within the counseling program, and I still think we have some blind spots. I really do. I do. And I've seen them. So, yeah.
But Mindy is undeterred. She has a dogged determination to help students, especially those who may be too easily overlooked, like she was.
The student that stands out still to me the most was in my earliest years of teaching, and she made me a better person. She came from a really, really tough background, really tough. She had nothing. Bills weren't being paid. She couldn't even shower daily. Sometimes she'd bring me a bag of clothes and I'd have to wash them at the school kind of thing. And Christmas came and I find on my desk this little bear with a little pendant on it, which happened to also be, she knew when my birthday was, happened to be my birthstone, and just a little card saying, thank you so much for being my teacher. And thank you so much for just listening to me. And I still have the card. And I just thought, oh, wow. There were times where it was so difficult, like to literally physically be in a room with her because she hadn't bathed and she didn't have those resources. And I remember thinking, like, why the heck doesn't this kid get more help? She didn't have anybody to help her. She didn't know, right? And I remember in that moment thinking, don't ever ever take for granted a kid. Don't ever not listen. Don't ever put them in a position where they feel like you think you're better than them. And I don't even know how to describe it, but I remember I was young and it was the most humbling of moments I had ever had. It just totally knocked me out.
That one student changed forever the way Mindy saw education and schools in general, and it fueled her passion and determination to keep going, no matter what others say or think.
Yeah, it feels like it's actually possible now. A year ago, I definitely, wondered, can I get through this? Actually 2 years, because since I'm in my second year of the program, right? Can I get through this? And is this meant for me? And there were times where I just thought, oh, I don't fit in. This program's really meant for these young people who are freshly out of college. And, my own kids could be sitting in the classroom with me. And then I had to say, no, I'm here. I'm allowed at the table. Might be uncomfortable, but I'm allowed at the table.
Mindy will graduate this spring as a professional school counselor, perhaps not the youngest in her class, but maybe one of the most determined. It's at this point in our weekly podcast that we usually implore you to share a story of your own with us, but I won't this week. Christmas is on its way, and I know you're stressed enough. But if Mindy's story had an impact on you, consider the possibility that one of your stories could be a gift for someone else. In the meantime, thanks for listening. Be sure to tell your friends and colleagues about the Encouraging Words for School Counselors podcast, and we'll be back again next week.